Have you ever felt like no matter what you do, doubt quietly creeps in and shakes your confidence? That quiet voice inside whispering you're not enough, not ready, not capable. If you've been there, you're not alone. Everyone faces moments when fear and uncertainty cloud their self-belief. But imagine waking up every day with a deep, unshakable confidence, one that doesn't depend on praise, success, or luck. A confidence so steady that it carries you through rejection, failure, and criticism without breaking. This is not a fantasy reserved for the lucky few. It's a strength you can build, starting right now. What if the secret lies not in boosting your ego or pretending to be fearless, but in a timeless way of thinking that has guided some of the strongest minds for thousands of years? Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, offers powerful lessons that cut through doubt and insecurity. These lessons don't promise an easy life, but they promise a mind fortified against life's storms. They teach you to stand firm no matter what comes your way. Why should you stay and learn these lessons? Because confidence is more than just feeling good about yourself in the moment. It is the foundation of every meaningful action, every bold decision, every step toward the life you want. When your confidence is built on solid ground, you stop being a prisoner of fear. You stop waiting for others to validate you, or for perfect conditions to start. You become unstoppable. These lessons will show you how to take back control of your mind and emotions, how to focus on what you truly can control, and let go of what drains your energy. How to prepare your mind for challenges, so fear no longer controls your choices. And how to find peace in uncertainty, turning what feels like weakness into strength. As you listen, you will feel a shift, a growing sense of calm power rising within. You'll begin to understand that confidence isn't something you either have or don't. It's a skill you can practice, a muscle you can strengthen day by day. This is about more than just feeling good or looking confident on the outside. It's about owning who you are deep down, accepting your flaws and fears, and moving forward anyway. Imagine the freedom that comes from no longer needing approval or fearing failure. Imagine the courage to face any situation knowing you have the inner resources to handle it. This isn't just motivation, it's a new way to live. By embracing these stoic lessons, you will learn to rise above the noise of doubt and insecurity. You will learn to trust yourself in a way that no external event can shake. The confidence you build will ripple into every part of your life, creating possibilities where before there were limits. Stay with me, because what you're about to discover will challenge everything you thought you knew about confidence, and it will give you the tools to create it, unshakable and real. This is the beginning of your transformation. The question is, are you ready to claim it? What if the secret to unshakable confidence lies in something so simple, yet so profound, that it has been overlooked by most? Confidence is not built by trying harder to control every outcome in your life. True confidence grows from understanding one powerful truth: you only have control over your own thoughts, choices, and actions. Everything else, what others think, how situations unfold, even your own emotions, exists beyond your control. This is not a limitation, it is the foundation of freedom. When you accept this, you release yourself from the exhausting and endless battle to control the uncontrollable. Imagine the relief that comes with no longer being chained to the need for things to go your way. The stress of worrying about approval, success, or external validation starts to dissolve. This is the core of a mindset that Stoic thinkers have practiced for centuries, a mindset that builds confidence by shifting your focus inward. What you can't control is your effort, your attitude, your response. Everything else is outside your command. This simple shift rewires your brain to stop wasting energy on what you cannot change, and instead fuels your power to act where it truly matters. When your energy is spent on what you control, you begin to move with clarity, courage, and calm. Anxiety weakens because it feeds on uncertainty and the illusion that you can control outcomes. But reality doesn't bend to your will, and trying to force it only drains your strength. True confidence is the calm assurance that you are doing everything in your power and accepting the rest as it is. It's the confidence that comes from knowing you cannot control what happens, but you can control how you respond. This mindset is like a shield against chaos. When life throws challenges at you, you no longer crumble under pressure or fear what might go wrong. Instead, you stand firm, grounded in what you can do. It gives you the courage to face uncertainty with grace, knowing that your worth and power do not depend on results. This is a radical act of self-love and freedom. Most people waste their energy on what-ifs and should-haves, trying to fix things beyond their reach. You will learn to break free from that trap. You will build the muscle to focus on your actions, your mindset, your growth. This focus creates momentum. Momentum creates confidence. Confidence creates courage, and courage leads to transformation. This shift is not a one-time thought. It becomes a practice, a habit, a daily commitment to center your life on what you can control. This practice rewires your brain, reduces stress, and strengthens your emotional resilience. It quiets the inner critic that erodes confidence and replaces it with a steady voice that says, I am enough, I am capable, I am steady. When you embrace this truth, you stop being a victim of circumstances. You stop reacting impulsively to fear and doubt. Instead, you respond with calm purpose. You become the master of your mind, and that mastery is the root of unshakable confidence. This is the mindset that frees you to act boldly, speak your truth, and live fully, even when the world around you feels uncertain. The power to transform your confidence starts here, by accepting what you control and letting go of the rest. It is your first real step towards strength that no one can take away. Confidence begins with how you see your world and yourself within it. The stories you tell your mind, the meanings you assign to every event, shape your emotions and actions far more than the events themselves. This is the hidden power of perspective, the lens through which you interpret life. When you learn to shift this lens, you transform not just how you feel, but how you respond. Imagine for a moment that the same difficult situation that used to shatter your confidence can become a source of strength and clarity. This shift doesn't come from ignoring reality or pretending everything is fine. It comes from choosing what meaning to give the situation and deciding what to focus on. Your mind is wired to react to challenges with fear or hope, based on what it believes the situation means. But you have the power to change those beliefs. When you view obstacles as threats, your body floods with stress hormones, your mind narrows and confidence crumbles. But when you choose to see challenges as opportunities to learn and grow, your brain releases chemicals that build resilience and courage. This rewiring takes practice, but it changes everything. Confidence isn't about ignoring fear or discomfort. It's about changing what those feelings mean to you. When you master this, you begin to see life's trials not as proof of your weakness, but as invitations to become stronger. Every difficulty becomes a stepping stone, every failure a lesson, every criticism a chance to improve. This perspective builds a shield around your confidence, making it unshakable because it no longer depends on easy wins or smooth paths. Your confidence stands firm, even when the world tests you. The science behind this is clear. Cognitive reframing is one of the most effective tools for mental strength. By intentionally changing how you interpret events, you reduce anxiety, increase emotional control, and boost motivation. This is how confident people operate. They don't control what happens to them, but they control how they view it. This power is available to you now. No one can take away your ability to change your perspective. It is a skill that grows stronger every time you choose to see obstacles differently. You can start small, notice when negative thoughts appear, and ask yourself if they are helping or hurting your confidence. Choose to replace them with thoughts that empower and inspire. This practice rewires your brain over time, making confidence your default state, not a fleeting feeling. When your perspective shifts, you stop being a victim of circumstances. You become an active creator of your experience. You find calm in chaos, hope in hardship, and strength in struggle. This clarity fuels your courage to take risks and face uncertainty without fear. Your mind becomes your greatest ally instead of your enemy. This is the essence of owning your mind, deciding what you focus on, what you believe, and what you allow to shape your emotions. It's a daily choice that leads to lasting confidence, one that no external force can shake. This mental mastery transforms how you live and act, turning self-doubt into certainty, hesitation into boldness, and fear into unstoppable courage. This is the power of perspective, the key to unlocking unshakable confidence inside you. True confidence is forged not in comfort but in discomfort. It is in the moments when you face what is difficult, unpleasant, or uncertain that your inner strength is tested and built. The instinct to avoid pain or struggle feels natural, but it quietly erodes confidence over time. When you choose comfort over challenge, you remain stuck in fear and limitation. Growth requires discomfort because it pushes you beyond familiar boundaries. This is where resilience is born, when you lean into what scares you rather than shrink away. Confidence is the result of repeatedly showing up in uncomfortable situations and realizing you can handle them. Each time you face discomfort and move forward, your brain rewires itself to associate challenge with growth, not threat. This rewiring builds mental toughness and emotional endurance. The more you embrace discomfort, the less power fear holds over you. This is not about recklessness or ignoring your limits, but about courageously expanding them. You learn that pain and struggle are not enemies to avoid, but allies in your journey to confidence. This shift transforms how you see failure, rejection, and uncertainty, not as signs that you are weak or broken, but as proof that you are growing stronger. The discomfort that once paralyzed you becomes the very fuel for your transformation. Science confirms this process through what is called stress inoculation. Just as vaccines expose your body to small amounts of a virus to build immunity, facing manageable discomfort builds your mental and emotional immunity to life's challenges. This practice doesn't make you invincible, but it makes you resilient. It teaches your mind and body that you can survive and thrive despite hardship. This resilience becomes the foundation of unshakable confidence, because it is built on real experience, not wishful thinking. You are no longer waiting for a perfect moment or a safe environment to act. You have learned to move forward with courage, even when conditions are tough or uncertain. This courage strengthens your belief in yourself and your abilities. It creates a deep internal certainty that you can handle what comes your way. When you embrace discomfort, your comfort zone expands. What once felt impossible becomes manageable, and what once caused fear becomes familiar ground. This transformation is a powerful cycle. Confidence grows as you face discomfort, and as your confidence grows, you are more willing to face new challenges. This cycle leads to exponential growth and freedom. You stop being limited by fear and hesitation. Instead, you start living boldly, taking risks, and pursuing your goals with relentless determination. The key is consistency, facing discomfort daily in small ways or big, to build your courage muscle. Every time you choose discomfort over ease, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your doubts and fears. This builds a reservoir of confidence you can draw on when life gets hard. You no longer need constant reassurance from others or perfect circumstances to act. Your confidence is grounded in your experience of overcoming discomfort. It is real, tested, and unshakable. This willingness to embrace discomfort is the secret weapon of those who move fearlessly toward their dreams. It is how you will build your own unbreakable confidence, one brave step at a time. Dependence on the approval of others is a fragile foundation for confidence. When your self-worth is tied to what others think, your inner strength becomes a hostage to their opinions, moods, and judgments. This is a dangerous place to live because people's views are unpredictable and often beyond your influence. Confidence built on external validation is like a castle made of sand, beautiful in the moment, but vulnerable to collapse at the slightest wave. Real unshakable confidence comes from within. It rises when you root your value in yourself, not in the fleeting approval of others. This means learning to trust your own judgment, to respect your own choices, and to honor your inner truth regardless of outside reactions. This is not arrogance, it is self-respect. It is knowing that your worth is inherent, and not something you need to earn or prove. When you free yourself from the need for constant approval, a profound liberation occurs. The chains of fear that others might reject or disapprove lose their grip. You begin to act with authenticity and courage, because your actions are aligned with your own values, not with the desire to please or fit in. This freedom breeds confidence, because it is grounded in self-acceptance and integrity. Psychological research shows that reliance on external validation leads to anxiety and low self-esteem. The more you seek others' approval, the more fragile your confidence becomes. On the other hand, cultivating internal validation strengthens emotional resilience. It creates a stable sense of self that remains steady regardless of external ups and downs. This stability is the bedrock of true confidence. Developing internal validation requires practice. It starts by noticing when you seek approval and consciously choosing to pause and ask yourself, do I believe in this action or decision because it aligns with my values or because I want others to like me? This self-awareness breaks the automatic habit of chasing approval. Next, you build trust in your own judgment by taking small, confident actions aligned with your authentic self. Each time you act from your own truth, you reinforce your inner compass. You prove to yourself that you can rely on your own guidance. This process rewires your brain, replacing insecurity with assurance. When you live from this place, fear of rejection loses its power. You no longer need to perform to earn love or respect. Instead, you give yourself permission to be fully you, flaws, strengths, and all. This radical self-acceptance is the source of unshakable confidence. It empowers you to speak up, set boundaries, and pursue your goals without hesitation. Your energy is no longer scattered trying to please others, but focused on becoming the person you are meant to be. This inner validation creates a magnetic force that draws the right people and opportunities to you. It aligns your life with your deepest values and aspirations. When you stop seeking approval, you start living freely, boldly, and confidently. This shift is one of the most powerful steps toward lasting confidence, because it transforms where you place your power. From outside forces to inside strength. It is a journey of reclaiming yourself and stepping into the freedom of true self-belief. Your confidence no longer depends on external conditions, but flows from a deep, unwavering source within. The world constantly pushes distractions, pulling your attention in 1,000 directions. It's easy to get lost in noise, opinions, fears, and endless comparisons. But confidence flourishes only when your mind is focused and clear. Attention is the gateway to your inner power. What you choose to focus on shapes your emotions, decisions, and ultimately your destiny. When your attention is scattered, anxiety grows, and your confidence weakens. You feel overwhelmed, uncertain, and disconnected from your true self. But when you learn to control your focus, you reclaim your power. You train your mind to dwell on what empowers you, what fuels your growth, and what aligns with your values. This control over your attention is a skill, not a gift. It can be developed, strengthened, and mastered. By choosing where to place your attention, you decide the quality of your thoughts and feelings. Imagine how different your confidence would feel if you consciously ignored doubt, fear, and negativity that drain you, and instead centered your mind on possibilities, strengths, and solutions. This is not denial of reality, but a deliberate shift to nurture your inner strength. The science of attention reveals that the brain is like a muscle. It grows stronger with use. When you repeatedly bring your focus back to empowering thoughts and actions, your brain rewires itself to support confidence and resilience. This neuroplasticity means your confidence isn't fixed. It's something you create through your habits of attention. Learning to focus also means letting go of distractions that pull you away from your goals. This requires discipline and clarity about what truly matters. When you prioritize your inner world and the actions that lead to growth, you protect your confidence from erosion. This is why mindfulness and mental clarity are vital to unshakable confidence. They keep you grounded in the present moment, where power resides, instead of lost in worry about the future or regret over the past. Controlling your attention also shields you from the toxic effects of comparison and social media noise that often breed insecurity. When you are fully present and focused on your own journey, you no longer waste energy measuring yourself against others. You build confidence from your progress, not from how you stack up. This mastery of attention allows you to act with intention rather than reaction. It creates space between stimulus and response where confidence can arise. In this space, you make choices that serve your growth rather than choices driven by fear or habit. The daily practice of focus rewires your brain to be calm, clear, and confident. It quiets the inner critic and amplifies the voice of self-belief. With every moment of focused attention, you build momentum toward a stronger, braver you. This control over your mind and attention is a cornerstone of personal power. It allows you to move through challenges with clarity and courage. It is the mental strength that fuels persistence, resilience, and unshakable confidence. The power to choose your focus is your power to choose your reality. This is where your transformation begins. Your emotions are powerful signals, but they do not define who you are. Confidence grows when you learn to observe your feelings without being controlled by them. Too often, people believe that if they feel fear, doubt, or anxiety, they must be weak or incapable. This belief is a trap. Emotions are natural responses to life's challenges. They are data, not destiny. When you recognize this, you gain freedom. You can feel fear without letting it stop you. You can experience doubt without losing your courage. This skill is the foundation of emotional resilience, the ability to endure hardship without breaking. Resilience is not about suppressing emotions or pretending to be fearless. It's about accepting emotions as part of your experience while choosing to act in alignment with your values and goals despite them. This choice separates those who crumble under pressure from those who rise stronger. Learning to witness your emotions creates a space between stimulus and response, a gap where confidence takes root. In this space, you are no longer a victim of your feelings. You become the master of your reactions. This mastery requires practice. Start by noticing when a strong emotion arises and simply name it: fear, anger, sadness, or doubt. Naming emotions reduces their intensity and gives you control. This practice trains your brain to become less reactive and more intentional. Over time, this rewires neural pathways to support calmness, clarity, and confidence, even in stressful moments. The science behind this is clear. Mindfulness and emotional awareness build prefrontal cortex strength, the part of the brain responsible for decision-making and self-control. This means you can strengthen your confidence by building emotional intelligence. The path to unshakable confidence is paved with emotional acceptance and regulation. When you stop fighting your emotions and start befriending them, you unlock a new kind of power. You gain the courage to move forward despite discomfort, fear, or uncertainty. This courage fuels transformation because it's grounded in reality, not denial. It allows you to face failure and rejection without losing your sense of self. Instead of running from discomfort, you move through it with grace and determination. This emotional strength radiates outward. People sense your calm and certainty, which deepens your influence and presence. Your confidence becomes magnetic because it is authentic and rooted in self-awareness. The secret is that your emotions will always arise. This is part of being human. The difference lies in how you respond to them. When you respond with awareness and intention, you choose confidence over fear. This creates a feedback loop. Confidence breeds more courage, which breeds more growth, which strengthens confidence further. This loop is unstoppable once you activate it. The power to observe, accept, and manage your emotions is within your reach right now. It is a daily practice that transforms your internal experience and external reality. This practice doesn't eliminate challenges, but changes your relationship to them, making you stronger and more capable with each encounter. Your emotions no longer hold you back, they become your guides, teaching you where to focus and how to grow. This is the emotional mastery that underpins unshakable confidence. It is the difference between living a life ruled by fear and living one led by courage and clarity. This mastery begins with a simple but profound decision: to witness your emotions, learn from them, and choose your response. True confidence is not the absence of fear or uncertainty. It is the mastery of choice in the face of them. This mastery comes when you fully accept that control over life's outcomes is limited, but control over your own mind and actions is absolute. The illusion that you must control everything breeds anxiety and doubt. This is a trap that weakens confidence by making you feel small and powerless against forces beyond your reach. But the Stoic lesson here is revolutionary. Real power lies in focusing on what you can control: your thoughts, your attitudes, your responses. When you surrender the need to control external events, you free yourself from the burden of frustration and helplessness. This surrender is not defeat. It is the ultimate form of strength. It allows your energy to flow toward growth and action, not wasted on resistance and worry. The acceptance of what cannot be changed is the soil where confidence takes root and flourishes. It sharpens your focus and conserves your mental and emotional resources. You begin to see challenges clearly, not as threats, but as opportunities to practice resilience and courage. This shift rewires your brain to stay calm and steady even in the stormiest situations. You become anchored in your own power rather than tossed by every external wave. This does not mean passivity or resignation. It means choosing your battles wisely and investing your energy where it truly matters, inside you. The boundary between what you can and cannot control becomes a guiding light for your decisions and actions. This clarity cuts through confusion and doubt, fueling confidence with precision and purpose. Psychologically, this approach aligns with what is called locus of control. People with an internal locus of control believe they shape their own destiny through effort and choices. This belief is a powerful predictor of confidence, success, and mental well-being. By cultivating this mindset, you create an unshakable foundation that no external setback can erode. Your self-esteem is no longer hostage to circumstances or others' approval, but anchored in your own consistent, intentional actions. You move forward with calm determination, knowing that whatever happens, you have the power to respond with integrity and strength. This mindset transforms how you perceive failure and adversity. Instead of seeing them as personal reflections of worth or ability, you recognize them as natural parts of the journey, elements outside your control but ripe with lessons and growth. This perspective frees you from paralyzing fear and fuels relentless perseverance. It creates a cycle of empowerment. The more you accept what you cannot control and focus on what you can, the more your confidence grows, and the more you act decisively. This cycle becomes a self-sustaining force, making your confidence resilient and enduring. This principle is not just theoretical, it is practical, applicable in every moment. When you catch yourself worrying about outcomes beyond your influence, remind yourself where your power truly lies. Shift your attention and energy inward. Choose your thoughts, choose your actions. Choose to act with courage and clarity despite uncertainty. This choice is the essence of true confidence, the power to control yourself when the world feels uncontrollable. It is your inner fortress, built stone by stone with acceptance, focus, and deliberate action. When you build your life on this foundation, nothing external can shake your belief in yourself or your ability to handle whatever comes your way. Freedom from fear is the cornerstone of unshakable confidence. Fear is a natural reaction to uncertainty and potential harm, but when it dominates your mind, it becomes a prison that limits your growth and courage. The truth is, fear itself is not the enemy. It is the way you relate to fear that determines your power. Every moment you allow fear to dictate your choices, you give away your power. But when you learn to face fear with clear eyes and steady resolve, you reclaim control. This transformation starts with understanding that fear is often fueled by imagined outcomes, stories your mind creates about what could go wrong. These stories trap you in a cycle of hesitation, self-doubt, and paralysis. But you are not those stories. You are the observer of those stories. You have the ability to question their truth, to see them for what they are, thoughts, not facts. This mental distance weakens fear's grip and creates space for courage to grow. Courage is not the absence of fear, but action despite fear. It is a decision to move forward even when your body wants to retreat. Every act of courage rewires your brain, building new pathways of strength and resilience. With each step you take in the face of fear, confidence grows, making the next step easier and more natural. This creates a powerful momentum, a positive cycle where courage breeds confidence, and confidence fuels further courage. This cycle becomes a force that propels you beyond limits you once believed were fixed. Psychological studies show that exposure to fear triggers growth when approached with intention. By deliberately facing fear, you train your brain to respond with calmness rather than panic, to think clearly rather than freeze. This rewiring shifts fear from a roadblock to a signal, a guide showing where your greatest growth lies. Embracing fear with this mindset transforms it from an enemy into an ally. It sharpens your focus, heightens your awareness, and ignites your inner fire to overcome obstacles. This process requires you to build tolerance for discomfort and uncertainty, which are inevitable in any meaningful pursuit. This tolerance becomes a muscle strengthened by practice and patience. Each time you lean into fear rather than flee, you build emotional stamina and deepen your trust in yourself. The freedom that comes from mastering fear is profound. It unlocks doors to possibilities that were previously closed by doubt and hesitation. When fear no longer controls you, you step into your true potential, bold, decisive, and unstoppable. This mastery also brings a deep sense of peace. You no longer waste energy battling fear or avoiding risks. Instead, you channel your energy into purposeful action, grounded in the knowledge that fear is a temporary feeling, not a permanent barrier. This knowledge empowers you to take risks, pursue your dreams, and stand firm in your values regardless of uncertainty. The path to unshakable confidence runs directly through the heart of fear. It demands you stop running and start facing what scares you. In that confrontation lies your power, the power to transform fear into fuel, hesitation into momentum, and doubt into unbreakable belief. This is how courage and confidence become inseparable companions on your journey. It is not easy, but it is the most vital step toward becoming the fearless, confident person you are meant to be. Your mindset is the invisible architect of your confidence. Every belief you hold about yourself, every thought you repeat, builds the foundation for how you see your worth and ability. Negative thoughts act like corrosive acid, slowly eroding your self-trust, while positive, empowering beliefs cement resilience and courage deep within. The crucial truth is that your mindset is not fixed. It can be reshaped, rewired, and strengthened by intentional focus. When your mind operates in a fixed mindset, every challenge feels like a threat, every failure a verdict on your worth. This mindset suffocates confidence and breeds self-doubt. But when you cultivate a growth mindset, you see challenges as opportunities to learn and improve, failures as valuable feedback, and effort as the path to mastery. This shift in perspective transforms your internal dialogue from critic to coach. It rewires your brain to seek growth and possibility, rather than retreat and fear. The science of neuroplasticity reveals that repeated thoughts form neural pathways. When you consciously choose empowering beliefs and affirm your capacity to grow, you build mental circuits that support confidence and resilience. This process requires awareness and discipline, catching negative thoughts before they spiral and consciously replacing them with empowering alternatives. Over time, this rewiring becomes automatic, and confidence becomes your default state. Your thoughts become the seeds that grow your reality. The moment you accept responsibility for your mindset, you reclaim control over your confidence. You stop waiting for external validation, and instead fuel your belief from within. This internal validation is a powerful shield against setbacks and criticism, because it is grounded in your own consistent effort and self-respect. The growth mindset also changes your relationship with effort and struggle. Instead of avoiding difficulty, you welcome it as the necessary price of progress. This mindset frees you from the fear of not being perfect or successful immediately. It creates space for experimentation, risk-taking, and learning, essential ingredients of confidence. When you embrace the process, confidence no longer depends on flawless results, but on your willingness to engage fully and persist. This shift empowers you to face uncertainty with curiosity rather than dread. You become willing to step outside your comfort zone regularly, knowing that growth happens there. This repeated practice of stepping into discomfort builds mental toughness and expands your capacity to handle challenges. Your mindset becomes a reservoir of strength, fueling your confidence through every setback and triumph. The foundation of unshakable confidence lies in this intentional cultivation of belief, a belief in your ability to learn, adapt, and improve. It is a daily choice to nurture thoughts that support courage, resilience, and self-worth. This mindset becomes your inner compass, guiding you steadily through storms of doubt and fear. When you align your thoughts with your highest potential, your confidence grows naturally and powerfully. This is not wishful thinking, but a strategic psychological process that rewires your brain for success. It is the quiet revolution within you, the conscious creation of a mindset that stands firm against life's challenges, propelling you forward with unstoppable momentum. Your mind is the ultimate tool to build the confidence you desire. Choose to wield it wisely. True True confidence requires mastery over your emotions. Emotions are powerful currents running beneath the surface of your thoughts and actions. Left unchecked, they can sweep you into doubt, anger, or despair. But when you learn to understand and control your emotional responses, you unlock a reservoir of calm strength that no external chaos can shake. Emotional mastery is not about suppressing feelings or pretending they don't exist. It is about recognizing them clearly, without judgment, and choosing how to respond rather than react impulsively. This awareness creates a pause between stimulus and action, a sacred space where choice lives. In that space, you find freedom from the automatic cycles of anxiety and insecurity. When you develop this skill, you no longer surrender your confidence to every fear or frustration that arises. Instead, you harness emotions as information, signals that guide you toward clarity and purpose. Neuroscience shows that the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for reason and decision-making, can regulate emotional impulses when trained properly. This means emotional mastery is a skill, not an innate trait. It can be cultivated through mindful practice and deliberate intention. Each time you notice a strong emotion and choose a thoughtful response, you strengthen your inner control and resilience. This practice rewires your brain, making calmness and clarity your natural responses rather than anxiety and impulsivity. Emotional mastery deepens your connection to yourself, building trust and confidence from the inside out. It prevents the destructive feedback loops where negative emotions feed self-doubt, which then fuels more negative emotions. Instead, you create a positive cycle of emotional regulation, inner calm, and confident action. This cycle fortifies your mental and emotional foundation against life's inevitable challenges. It also shifts how you experience pressure and stress. Rather than being overwhelmed or reactive, you become centered and focused. This centeredness allows you to think strategically, communicate effectively, and act decisively even under intense pressure. Your confidence radiates because it is rooted in this unshakable emotional balance. Emotional mastery also fosters compassion toward yourself. You learn to meet difficult feelings with kindness rather than criticism. This self-compassion nurtures resilience, allowing you to recover quickly from setbacks and maintain momentum. The ability to stay emotionally grounded transforms how you handle criticism, failure, and uncertainty, three of the most common threats to confidence. You learn that these experiences do not define you. Your response defines you. This understanding releases you from the tyranny of external judgment and internal fear. The more you master your emotions, the more freedom you gain to pursue your goals with unwavering commitment. This freedom is the true essence of confidence, a steady flame burning inside no matter the winds outside. It is a power born not from avoiding difficulty, but from meeting it head-on with clarity, courage, and calm. When you build this skill, you create a fortress of emotional strength that holds firm through any storm. Your confidence becomes a beacon, lighting your path and inspiring those around you. Emotional mastery is the key that unlocks this inner fortress. Choose to develop it relentlessly. Your confidence depends on it. Your perception of control shapes the strength of your confidence more than any external circumstance ever will. When you believe that you are the master of your responses and choices, you gain a profound sense of power that no external chaos can steal. This is not about controlling everything around you. Life is unpredictable, and trying to control the uncontrollable only breeds frustration and helplessness. True control lies in your ability to govern your own mind, your actions, and your attitude. This internal locus of control is the foundation of resilience and unshakable confidence. When you anchor your sense of control inside, you no longer depend on external validation, luck, or approval to feel strong and capable. You become self-reliant, grounded in the knowledge that your power comes from within. This shift rewires how you experience challenges. Instead of feeling like a victim of circumstance, you see obstacles as invitations to exercise your agency. This mindset fuels courageous action because it places responsibility where it belongs, on your choices. Science confirms that those with a strong internal locus of control experience less stress, greater motivation, and higher achievement. This is because they see themselves as architects of their fate, not helpless bystanders. The feeling of control reduces anxiety because it replaces uncertainty with proactive engagement. You stop waiting for things to happen and start making things happen. This control is not about perfection or always getting it right. It is about committing to deliberate, conscious action in alignment with your values and goals. Each decision you make from this place builds momentum, reinforcing your belief in your own ability to navigate life's complexity. This momentum creates a feedback loop. The more you act with intention, the more confidence you build, which in turn empowers bolder choices. In contrast, when you surrender your sense of control to outside forces, you become vulnerable to fear and doubt. You feel reactive and overwhelmed, like a leaf tossed in the wind. Confidence cannot thrive in this chaotic state. It requires a steady hand on the wheel of your mind, steering your focus and energy toward what you can influence. This practice requires discipline and presence. It demands that you regularly check in with yourself and ask, where am I giving away my power? What am I choosing to control right now? These questions reorient your awareness and strengthen your internal command. Over time, this builds an unshakable inner fortress, your own mind, impervious to the storms of life. When you own your power to choose your response, you reclaim freedom. Freedom from fear, from victimhood, and from the endless cycle of doubt. This freedom is the wellspring of confidence. It lets you face uncertainty without hesitation, knowing that whatever happens, you have the capacity to adapt and thrive. Your confidence then becomes a beacon, not because you control everything, but because you control the one thing that truly matters, yourself. This mastery transforms your experience of life from reactive survival into empowered creation. It is the essence of unshakable confidence, rooted in the undeniable power of your own choice. Choose to claim it now. The ability to accept what you cannot change is one of the most profound sources of inner strength and unshakable confidence. Resistance to reality drains energy, breeds frustration, and traps you in a cycle of bitterness and helplessness. But acceptance is not resignation or giving up. It is a conscious decision to acknowledge reality as it is, without distortion or denial. This clarity frees you from wasting time and emotional power fighting battles that cannot be won. Instead, you redirect your focus to what you can influence, your thoughts, your actions, your responses. This shift from resistance to acceptance is a radical act of courage. It demands honesty with yourself and a willingness to face uncomfortable truths. But with this honesty comes liberation. You stop being at war with life and begin to work with it. When you embrace acceptance, your confidence deepens because it no longer depends on circumstances aligning perfectly. You build resilience by facing life's uncertainties head-on and adapting with grace. This doesn't mean you become passive or indifferent. On the contrary, acceptance clarifies your vision and sharpens your ability to act effectively within your sphere of control. You conserve your strength for battles that matter, rather than exhausting yourself on futile struggles. Psychological research reveals that acceptance is linked to lower stress levels, better emotional regulation, and higher well-being. People who practice acceptance experience less anxiety about the future because they stop fighting the present moment. This emotional peace builds a stable foundation for confidence that cannot be shaken by external turmoil. Acceptance also cultivates humility and patience, qualities essential for long-term growth and self-trust. When you accept your limitations and the limits of others, you stop chasing unrealistic perfection, and instead focus on meaningful progress. This mindset reduces self-criticism and frees you to learn from failures without fear. Each setback becomes a stepping stone, each obstacle a teacher rather than a threat. Acceptance expands your capacity for gratitude. When you see things clearly, you begin to appreciate what is rather than lament what isn't. This gratitude fuels positive emotions that enhance motivation and confidence. It shifts your inner dialogue from scarcity to abundance, from lack to possibility. The practice of acceptance also strengthens your presence. When you stop resisting what is, you fully inhabit the moment. This presence creates a powerful sense of calm and centeredness, which naturally projects confidence. Others sense this grounded energy and respond with respect and trust. Acceptance is not a one-time achievement, but a continuous practice. It requires vigilance to notice when resistance sneaks back and to gently bring yourself back to reality without judgment. This ongoing commitment builds mental toughness and deepens your self-mastery. The more you accept life as it unfolds, the less you fear the unknown. Your confidence grows from this fearless engagement with reality itself. You become steady like a rock in the shifting tides. This steady confidence does not depend on external approval or flawless conditions. It springs from the powerful choice to accept what is, so you can move forward with clarity, strength, and unwavering courage. Embrace this truth fully, and watch your confidence rise beyond what you thought possible. True confidence grows not in the absence of fear, but in the mastery of it. Fear is a natural response, an ancient alarm system designed to protect you. Yet, when fear controls your decisions, it becomes a cage that limits your potential and silences your voice. The courage to face fear directly, without avoidance or denial, ignites a transformation that empowers your entire being. Fear loses its grip the moment you choose to look it in the eye and move forward anyway. This act is not reckless bravado, but a deliberate step into uncertainty fueled by purpose and self-trust. Understanding fear's nature is essential. Fear thrives on uncertainty and the stories you tell yourself about what might happen. It exaggerates danger and shrinks your sense of possibility. But when you strip away those stories and focus on the present moment, fear loses much of its power. This is why grounding techniques and mindfulness practices are invaluable. They help you anchor your awareness in reality rather than projection. The neuroscience behind fear reveals that the amygdala, the brain's fear center, triggers automatic fight-or-flight responses. But the prefrontal cortex, responsible for rational thinking, can regulate this response when engaged consciously. You strengthen this control every time you pause, breathe, and choose action over paralysis. This strengthens your confidence muscle. The more often you confront fear with awareness, the more it becomes a signal to grow, not retreat. Each courageous step rewires your brain, expanding your comfort zone and increasing your resilience. This process is gradual and demands patience, but its rewards are profound. When you transform fear into a guide rather than an enemy, your confidence becomes deeply rooted and reliable. This mastery over fear also changes your relationship with failure. Fear of failure often holds people back, but when you recognize that failure is simply a natural part of growth, you liberate yourself from its paralytic grip. You learn to see failure as feedback, a teacher that reveals what needs adjustment, not as a verdict on your worth. This mindset shift nurtures a growth-oriented perspective, where challenges are embraced rather than avoided. Confidence flourishes in this environment because it is built on real experience, learning, and adaptation. Acting in spite of fear also builds integrity and authenticity. When you choose courage, you align your actions with your deepest values and aspirations. This alignment creates a powerful sense of self-worth that external validation cannot provide. It grounds your confidence in who you truly are, not in how others perceive you. This internal alignment radiates outward, inspiring trust and respect from those around you. The courage to face fear is not the absence of vulnerability, but the willingness to be vulnerable and act anyway. This willingness is a profound expression of strength. It frees you from living in the shadows of doubt and hesitation, allowing your light to shine fully. Choose to meet your fears head-on, with open eyes and a steady heart. In doing so, you reclaim your power and unlock a confidence that no fear can ever diminish. This is the courage that moves mountains and transforms lives. Your thoughts hold unimaginable power over your confidence. The mind can be a battlefield or a sanctuary, and the choice to command it shapes everything. When negative thoughts spiral unchecked, they erode your self-belief and cloud your vision. Doubts multiply, fears amplify, and every small challenge feels like a mountain. But when you learn to observe your thoughts without attachment, you create space to choose which ones deserve your attention. This discipline is the foundation of mental freedom and unwavering confidence. It starts with awareness, recognizing that thoughts are not facts but passing events in your mind. The moment you accept this, you stop giving every thought undue power. Instead, you begin to question and reframe them. This reframing is not about blind positivity or ignoring problems. It's about confronting limiting beliefs honestly and replacing them with empowering truths grounded in reality. This shift rewires your brain and transforms your inner dialogue. Psychology confirms that habitual thought patterns shape neural pathways. Positive, constructive thinking creates resilience, motivation, and courage. Negative, self-critical thinking does the opposite, trapping you in cycles of self-doubt and fear. This is why mindfulness and cognitive strategies are so powerful. They train your mind to focus on what serves you rather than what harms you. Every time you interrupt a negative thought and replace it with an empowering one, you build mental strength. This practice deepens self-trust because you prove to yourself that you can steer your mind toward confidence rather than chaos. Over time, this cultivates a steady inner voice that supports rather than sabotages you. This inner voice becomes your most loyal ally, a source of calm and clarity amid life's storms. When your thoughts align with your values and aspirations, your confidence becomes deeply authentic. It no longer wavers based on external validation or fleeting moods. You develop a robust inner framework that sustains you through uncertainty and setbacks. This mental clarity also sharpens your focus and decision-making. When you trust your mind, you act decisively, without hesitation or second-guessing. This decisiveness projects strength and attracts opportunities that reinforce your confidence further. The power of your thoughts extends beyond yourself. Your mindset influences your energy, your posture, your tone, how you show up in every moment. Confident thoughts create a magnetic presence that others instinctively respect and follow. This is why cultivating empowering thoughts is one of the most practical, high-impact steps you can take toward unshakable confidence. It is not a quick fix, but a lifelong commitment to mastering your inner world. Commit to this journey. Watch your thoughts with curiosity and kindness. Challenge what no longer serves you, and choose beliefs that elevate your spirit. Your mind is your most valuable resource. When you control it with intention and care, confidence becomes your default state, not a fleeting feeling, but a powerful way of being that carries you forward no matter what comes your way. The power to choose your response in any situation is where true confidence is born. Life will challenge you relentlessly, presenting moments that test your patience, your values, and your resolve. You cannot control what happens around you, but you always control how you respond. This freedom, the ability to decide your reaction, is the greatest form of empowerment. When you realize this, external circumstances lose their ability to shake your inner peace. This realization rewires your relationship with stress and adversity. Instead of being a victim of circumstance, you become an active participant in your experience. The choice to respond with calm, clarity, and courage transforms you from a passive sufferer into a powerful creator of your reality. Psychology teaches that this shift from automatic reaction to conscious response is key to emotional regulation and resilience. Your nervous system adapts when you pause before acting, allowing your prefrontal cortex, the rational part of your brain, to override impulsive, fear-driven reactions. This pause is a space of possibility where you claim your power back. When you practice choosing your responses, you build confidence rooted in self-mastery. You prove to yourself again and again that you can navigate challenges with grace and strength. This not only strengthens your character, but also sends a powerful message to your subconscious mind that you are capable and in control. Over time, this practice forms a habit of mindful action, turning every setback into an opportunity for growth. Your responses become aligned with your highest self, rather than driven by fleeting emotions or conditioned patterns. This alignment breeds an unshakable sense of confidence that is steady and enduring. It is a confidence not dependent on external validation or outcomes, but born from your integrity and intentionality. This is the foundation for authentic leadership in your own life. The ability to respond thoughtfully creates space for problem-solving, creativity, and connection. It allows you to remain composed in high-pressure situations, inspiring trust and respect from others. Your confidence becomes contagious, drawing people toward your calm authority. Choosing your response also dissolves the illusion of helplessness that often accompanies fear and anxiety. When you understand that your power lies not in controlling every circumstance, but in mastering your reaction, you reclaim your freedom. This freedom is the essence of courage. It frees you from the chains of resentment, frustration, and self-doubt. It invites you into a life lived on your terms, where your actions are deliberate and your confidence is unshakable. Commit to this practice daily. Begin with small moments where you consciously choose your response instead of reacting impulsively. Strengthen this muscle of choice until it becomes second nature. In those moments, you will feel a surge of empowerment that builds like a fire within you, a fire that no external storm can extinguish. This is the power of owning your response, the cornerstone of a confidence that stands firm through all of life's tests. True confidence is forged in the quiet acceptance of what you cannot change, not in the futile struggle against it. So often, we exhaust ourselves fighting battles that are beyond our control, draining energy meant for growth and action. When you learn to distinguish between what is within your power and what lies outside it, you create an unshakable foundation. This clarity frees you from frustration and anxiety because you stop wasting precious energy on resisting reality. Instead, you focus entirely on what you can influence, your thoughts, your choices, your effort. This shift in focus is the essence of personal power. Psychology reveals that people who accept uncontrollable events experience less stress and greater emotional stability. Acceptance is not resignation or passivity. It is a bold acknowledgement of reality that clears the path for purposeful action. By embracing what you cannot change, you open your mind and heart to solutions, adaptation, and resilience. You stop feeling like a victim and start operating from a place of strength. This acceptance does not dull your ambitions or diminish your drive. On the contrary, it refines your energy and sharpens your intent. When you let go of resisting the uncontrollable, you channel your full power into what matters most: your attitude, your effort, your response. This alignment ignites true confidence that does not falter when obstacles arise. It remains steady because it is rooted in wisdom, not wishful thinking.